How do you get your kids interested in investing? How do they get started? That is the question that Corey and I are going to talk about on today's show. But as we get started, this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and Corey's alone. So, how do you get your kids to invest? I think many of us know that investing for a long time is a really good thing, and Corey's going to hit on compound interest. That's coming. But here are some ideas on how you can get your kids interested in investing. First of all, number one, find something that they're interested in and invest in that product. So if your kids love Nike shoes, you could buy a share of Nike stock. If your kids love Apple products, you could buy a share of Apple. Your kids love Spotify, maybe you can get a fractional share of Spotify because it's pretty expensive. But you can invest in a stock, and your kid can create an account, or you can create an account, and they can learn what it's like to be an owner instead of a consumer. Because right now, most kids are consumers. McDonald's is another one that I thought of. If your kid likes McDonald's, buy a share of McDonald's, and they are an owner of McDonald's stock instead of just a consumer. So that's idea one. Second idea is to have a family investment club where you say, hey, I want to take this company and I want to do some research. And you, son or daughter of mine, you take that company and you do some research. And then you get together and talk about that and why that company you may believe is growing or doing well. And then the third idea, and this is for a little bit older kid, preferably working a job of some sort, is a parental match on their earnings. And this is something that I do with my kids, is to say, yes, we should have a Roth IRA, a custodial Roth IRA that you can talk to your advisor about setting up. But, you know, son, you earn $500. If you put in 100, I'll match you 100. So I'm gonna match you so that you feel like you got some skin in the game. While you certainly could fund your whole kid's account, you shouldn't, because they need to have skin in the game. They need to feel what it's like to see an investment go up and down, preferably on the down. They need to see what it's like to go down. Everybody loves it when they go up. So Corey, what do you think about those three?
Yeah, those are good. Are there any specific companies that your kids ever owned, as a result of buying what they know kind of thing?
Apple, Apple.
Ah,
That's one. Everything. I'm sorry, Android. I'm sorry, Samsung. I'm sorry, Google Android. Apple is what at least the teens in this area think about right away. I didn't let them rush out and buy themselves. I can't remember. There was a video game company once we looked at, but did not invest in. What
hmm.
was that? I can't remember what the company was called. But anyways, those are some ideas.
We
What do
had
you What do you
one.
got, Corey?
My kids got on the video game side. We had to go to the over-the-counter markets, Mike, and pick up some Nintendo stock.
That's a great one. Ubisoft, that's what it was, Ubisoft.
Ah,
But yeah, it's like, but I just think the biggest thing is to talk to your kids about being an owner versus a consumer. So like, instead of spending all your money at McDonald's, you buy a McDonald's stock, and now you own, let's just say you own the chair in the corner at your local McDonald's. That's your part
right,
of the company. And when the
right.
company has earnings and dividends, your little chair gives you the right to get a dividend of $1 or whatever that is. And it's to kind of get used to that. It comes up a lot with adults when we talk about high interest rates on credit cards. And I say, well, yeah, you don't want to pay high interest on credit cards. That's awful. You don't want to pay that as a consumer. But as an owner of, JP Morgan Chase, you do want to collect that interest. So are you,
Right.
so
Right.
so you have a different attitude.
Right.
How about you, Corey? What do you employ?
Okay. So I would say, part of this is from my personal experience growing up, and then part as a parent too. You have to teach just the concept and the philosophy that money makes money. And some people do this as like every dollar is like a little employee that you have out there working and bringing you back some profit or whatever. That's fine. There's a bunch of different ways to teach it, but you have to get that concept that money makes money. And Mike, a little story. So um, when I was probably, let's say, 8 years old, we were actually at an arena football game. I found $100 bill just laying on the ground. I actually thought it was a $1 bill. I mean, I was so young. I was like, I saw the one on there and I was like, oh, heck yeah. I got $1. So I put it in my pocket and I go back to our seats and I pull it out. And then I was like, wait, there were some zeros on here behind the one. So it's $100 bill. My dad thought I was pranking him. But he's like, okay, we got to do the right thing. So we took it to the police, turned it in. And then they were like, all right, they took our information. And I don't know if it's the same these days, but they're like, if nobody claims it in 30 days, it's yours. So it was like, I mean, Mike, I was on pins and needles all month, like, please, nobody claimed this $100 bill. So come day 30, we call in, nobody claimed it. So we go pick it up. So I get it back. My dad made me save $70 of it.
Uh-huh.
So now here's the next thing. This goes with money makes money. Okay. But the kids actually have to do it. So when we went to the bank, I filled out the deposit slip to put it in the account. And I talked to the bank teller. So the kids need to be doing the stuff. You learn by doing. You don't watch a video to learn how to ride a bike. You actually got to get on the bike. So they got to fill out the slips. They've got to talk to the bank tellers. They've got to ask what the CD rates are. They have to get on the computer at home and actually do the online transfer from the bank to the UTMA. The kids have to do the stuff. If they do it, then they'll learn how to do it.
That's good.
But back to the story. So I get to spend $30. I bought some little toys or whatever. But the $70, we're on the way. We were going to Kmart. I don't know if you ever been to a Kmart.
I've been to Kmart.
We were on the way to Kmart with my $30, and I was like, well, Dad, you won't let me spend the $70. When can I spend the $70? And he was like, son, you're never going to spend the $70. You're going to die with that $70. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you're just going to spend the money that the $70 makes you. But that $70, you'll never spend that. It'll be forever. And it'll go on to like your family or whatever. And I just remember I'm 8 years old, and I'm like, the idea, like, I will never spend that $70. That was so crazy to me, but it really stuck with me. And it was the idea that, I can spend the free money that I get from the $70, but I don't want to spend the $70. And so that was a really formative.
Now, Corey,
for
me. So, when you were 8 years old, didn't you want to say, Dad, I can buy 5 Bitcoin with the $70?
Thankfully, when I was that age, there was no Bitcoin, so I have no regrets there. That's very funny. And then I would just say the last thing, if they understand money makes money, if they're actually doing the stuff, filling out the slips, transferring the money, entering some trades, email their advisor, right? Or email the parent's advisor and say, hey, I just got this birthday money. What do you think I should do with it? If I got an email from a kid, I'd be happy to respond, right, Mike? So they need to be doing the stuff. And then, the last thing I would just say, lead by example. If you aren't budgeting and saving, then they probably won't either. If you have lifestyle creep, they probably will too. So it's like you got to look in the mirror a little bit. If you really want them to be what you want them to be, you might have to change a little something yourself too.
I do. When you talk about opening the accounts, I 100% agree. When my kids every one of them has worked now, but when they got their first job, I'm hired at Subway. I take them to the bank and say, you are going to open up your checking account, and they do. You have to find like their school ID because they don't have a driver's license or anything, and then the bank will say, and I'll make them out, and the bank will say, well, wait, do you want a parental account? I'm like, nope, this is their account. I don't want to have access to it. I don't need to see it. you know, we do set it so there's no like protection, like it doesn't like let them
No
run
credit.
into, yeah, there's no credit to
No
it.
line of credit.
If they scan their bank card at McDonald's, there's no money. It just goes denied. So we set that up correctly. But and then they, you know, of course they all download the app on their phone, and you know, it's to that level. And only one so far, one of 5 kids has had to get a checkbook. Finally, he had to pay rent, and he was doing things, or you know, send me the money, and I write it. I'm like, no, get your own checkbook. You got to get me out of the middle of this. So
That's
good.
funny.
But so those are some ideas. How do you get your kids investing? And investing, you know, one thing is spending and another thing is investing. And that's what we really want to get them, is investing. So, all right, that's today's topic. We'll see what we're on to tomorrow. And I'm going to throw it out there. If you have ideas, if you have a question, feel free to reply back to Corey, myself, or Steve, or Ankerstar Wealth, and we'll be glad to hit these topics on here. Thanks, everybody. Bye.